Thanks, Joanne, for being with us. Well, why don't you first give us a quick update what's happening on the federal level with proposed EPA regulations?
Well, the Environmental Protection Agency, as you know, has filed a proposed regulation on new power plants that currently do not exist. So they have basically said that unless a new power plant that would use coal as its main fuel source, unless they actually use this new technology that doesn't exist right now, you're not going to be able to use coal for a power plant. That was just published in December. In June, we're going to see another regulation by the Environmental Protection Agency with regard to existing power plants, and we are very concerned that their goal is to eliminate any kind of coal-powered plant in the near future. Totally eliminate them.
We have a lot of coal in this region, so this is of a special interest to us. Can you tell us what this is going to mean for cooperative members?
Well, here's what I fear. Number one, that the biggest mistake that we could make as a country is to eliminate any source of fuel to power electricity. That's just, you always need to have choice. Number two, if you eliminate coal, for example, and most power plants in the United States are fueled by coal, then what does that leave us? That leaves us with changing over to a different fuel like natural gas. It would leave us with some biofuels, maybe solar and wind, but ultimately we know that if you get rid of the most readily apparent fuel, then our bills are going to go up. I don't know how much they're going to go up, but there is no doubt that if you have to switch over from being a coal-fired plant to a different kind of plant, I mean, you're talking millions of dollars.
Billions, yeah.
Billions probably, and who's going to foot the bill? Because we're cooperatives and our members own us, we don't have stockholders. Our members are technically our stockholders, and we don't want to impose huge new costs on them.
So what can cooperative members do?
This is going to be a war waged on 2 or 3 fronts. Number one, it's being very vocal with your friends and your neighbors, and you know, if your children play on a sports team, the moms and the dads, talking to everybody about how this proposed rule by the Environmental Protection Agency is going to really make it difficult for our rural communities all across the country, and how our electric bills are going to go up. And it's hard to tell how much, number one. Number two, there is a way, if you go to tellepa.com, it's a website, or Action.coop, if you're a co-op member, to send a note to the EPA. And there's suggested language, or you can write your own, but it's Action.coop or tellepa.com. That's one thing to do. Number two is to try to engage your legislators at the federal level, your federal representative in Congress, your 2 United States senators, and make them understand very simply, you know, what this is going to do to your family budget. And you're saving this much money for your children to go to school, and suddenly you can't save that anymore. So there are some really tough choices here. And then just, there's nothing better than neighbor talking to neighbor over the backyard fence, or, you know, out in the, at a ball game or something. But the more people know, I think the madder they're going to be, and the more they'll speak out. And we need as many voices speaking together on this as we possibly can have.
All right. Thank you very much, Joanne.
Thank you, Carrie.